There you go.
I'm somebody. I made it.
For the 2 shows we did together, I was able to pull some clips.
I love it. Thank you.
Anyways, yeah, I was like, I'm going to put something together. She's not at the beginning. She's the co-host, the beautiful, talented Maureen Ennor. Thank you for being here and the work you do for the show and for agreeing to team up with me on this. This has been absolutely a true pleasure and big things to come. That's all I can tell you. Big things to come.
Thank you. It is my pleasure. I'm doing what I love doing, and I'm thankful for a bigger platform. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, hopefully it just continues to grow and grow and grow. And good morning to all of you out there, Tarna and Danny. I see you. Good morning as well. Thank you for being here and starting your Monday here with us. We appreciate it, and you're the reason we do it, honestly. So how was your weekend, real quick? I just want to
busy.
Okay.
Busy. We had wonderful weather here in Texas. Finally, no more rain. Mm-hmm. We got 100-degree weather, pure sun, no overcast, no humidity. So I got some time in the sun. I went out with some friends. Yeah, it was a good weekend.
Good. Very
busy news. Busy news weekend though. Busy
news weekend and a lot going on. We have a lot to discuss today. That's for sure. As you join us here again on Monday, please like, follow, and share as well. Remember to do that. It's very important to get the word out there and get our faces and our voices out there. We are the media at this point. So I was going to go a little bit, Maureen, real quick into the White House Correspondents' Dinner. You being in media, I don't think I really need to go in. It's not the bigger news, and I don't really want to talk about it. But I think it went over pretty well, and went over as Trump did what Trump would do on that. And so, typical, I think, White House Correspondents' Dinner. I'm glad it went on, and I'm glad they did it. Again, bigger issues in this world, that's for sure, to take on besides that. But it is a tradition, and it's one that I understand needs to be done. I just think kind of those things are all pomp and circumstance, and it's a bunch of crap. And I think it's a waste, to do it, especially with today's media. That's my issue, I guess, with it.
Yeah. If you go back and look at one of the best ones was when I think was Obama still president and Trump spoke, like in
Yes.
Maybe it was 2015. You might have been running. I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly.
I think it was running.
Those were the days of the White House correspondents when everybody was there.
Yep.
And now again, it's just become this division. And even after the horrific event during the last one, they still were not able to just all come together.
Mm-hmm.
It's a charity. It's I believe it's a Catholic charity that started over 100 years ago. So it is a good cause.
Mm-hmm.
And it was always for everybody to come together and just have a good time and tell jokes. And they used to be really good. Even Obama, when he was president, he had good comedic timing. He was funny and and it's sad. I did not watch it. Normally, they call that the nerd prom.
Yeah. Is that what they call it?
No, they call it the nerd prom.
I believe it.
And I am a nerd when it comes to politics. I always loved politics. Even when I was in high school, I was a nerd. I was a political nerd. But I used to get ready for that night, like the Academy Awards. I couldn't wait to watch it and see what everybody was wearing and what everybody said. And, and that's how I was all ready for the one that was interrupted because of the shooting.
Yeah.
And then this one, I don't know. I just didn't have. I watched some of the clips, and I don't know. It wasn't.
Me too. I watched some of the clips too, and I had a couple downloaded, and it was fine.
Were you impressed with any of it? I really
no, I'm not.
I felt like it was really staged.
Yeah, I'm not impressed
staged.
Almost by anything anymore when it comes to politics. I'm not really impressed or almost shocked anymore. And I think they certainly have programmed us to be kind of almost numb to anything that happens, like a shooting yesterday in Seattle. A 2-year-old died in that shooting. Crossfire going on between, I'm going to guess, 2 gang members. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't seen what the suspects are. I'm just saying there were supposedly and they got caught in the crossfire of that. But it's a family food festival event, annual thing that happens. and you can't take your family anymore. And I'm watching it and I'm like, yeah, of course that happened there. Of course it did.
Well, and Seattle is another city that is in chaos. It used to be a beautiful city.
Sure.
Beautiful. They
beautiful part of the world.
They used to call it the Emerald City. It was just this beautiful, and now again, horrible liberal leadership.
Another shithole.
Leaving Washington State because of the income tax situation. You know, even Starbucks has now left.
Correct.
Starbucks Corporation, which was born and raised in Seattle, so
and liberal in general. So yeah, and even they've left. You know,
so if we cannot come together and realize these liberal policies are creating crime, homelessness, open air drug use, just disasters. You can't have a business in a city where there's homeless all over. Like we did the show on last week on Tuesday on the network. You were traveling, and I did the show with Eric from Inner Rhythm Media, who's covering the homeless situation, everything in LA. And
go watch that if you haven't.
Yes, please do. And go and follow Eric on Inner Rhythm Media on X and on TikTok.
Correct.
But he's doing a sort of a Nick Shirley version, but he's actually a native SoCal guy who's grown up there. And you know, we talked about this. You cannot have businesses run in a city where there's just homeless sleeping.
You cannot
out up and down the street. It's just it's not going to work.
So
I don't know. You know, I don't know what it's going to take. We're going to talk a little bit about some stuff I found out about LA leadership.
Correct.
Again, disturbing. And another thing, I don't know if people know this. It made the news, but not. Gavin Newsom and his wife retained Ali Lowell. Big defense attorney from Washington, D.C. He defended.
Now, why would they need to do that, Maureen?
You don't get Abby Lowell unless, and he actually defended Ivanka and he defended them, but he defended Hunter Biden. I want to say, I think Hillary Clinton may have possibly
and you don't get him for cheap either. So and there's you know, obviously we'll get into the California stuff here.
But that's another example of the homeless crisis, money stolen, NGOs, nonprofit, just the mess. And until we can be told this is going to be handled, I don't know what to say anymore. It's
I agree.
So exhausting.
I agree. And we kind of had that little conversation with my wife yesterday about government in general and what is it we can do here as a people to change that system, minus the, you know, a revolution against our own government. And at that point, what does that look like in the end? Who's on your side? Who do you trust? Who do you not trust? How does that all turn out? And anyways, real quick here, I want to put something personal from one of our listeners. His name's Mike. He's with IRC Media and To The Point podcast. He's a great listener. But he said, "Good morning, friends. Prayers for my mom and dad. Please, mom's still on a ventilator, and now dad not feeling good. Love you all. Have a great." So it's pneumonia. She's been in the hospital. He's a great friend and great listener. Great friend to all of us here on the show as well too. The guy will give you the shirt off his back. He'd do anything. So yeah, we are praying for you, Mike. That's
Mike.
For sure.
I'm so sorry, and reach out to me if you need anything, because I know what it's like to be going through.
Agreed. We're here. Yep, and we're here. And you, I don't know if you wanted to personally go into a little bit about, because last week was a tough week for you.
Yeah, so. It gets easier, but I just wanted to personally thank everyone for reaching out to me. I got beautiful messages and encouragement from Thursday was my husband's 6-year end of watch anniversary. He died on July 23rd, 2020 in line of duty. And thank you. It sustains me. My son even called me. They're in Maui having their baby moon.
Yeah.
And he even called me, but I just really appreciate it. And, you know, 6 years, it seems like a lifetime, but sometimes it seems like it was just yesterday.
Yep. Correct.
So it's a tough day for me, but I did a little video where I went through the things that have happened over the last.
It was great. If you haven't seen it, it was very moving and touching.
Yeah, it's on all my sites. It's on TikTok, but it was kind of fun to do that because, as I said in the video, life has moved on because that's what you have to do. We've all done very well, but we miss you.
Yep. Yep. It's very therapeutic too, in a way. It's very, very being able to get, I guess, that's kind of one of, without good and bad of social media, and this is a whole different show, and we'll get into that. But I mean, without the ability to just maybe say what you wanted to say and all that to a camera, to something, to somebody out there that's listening, that you also can help, that you are, whether they tell you or not, you are, and that's always good.
I got a lot of really beautiful messages about that video, and people were they thought it was really nice. And, so life goes on. My husband he hated when I cried. That is the one thing that man could not take.
True man would hate that. Yes.
He could not stand when I cried. That would break him. So I've remembered that, and I want him to rest easy, and I'm going to carry on. And
we're all here for you.
Thank you.
If you need anything, that's why
he's having a good old time up there, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. Better than we are here with this nonsense. He's
having a great time. Can I tell you? I want to share this quick story. It's very funny.
Go ahead. Share what you want. It's your show.
I know Dina Martin very well. She's the daughter of Dean Martin.
Oh, okay.
And she was on my show many times, and we became friends. And we used to go out with her and her husband to San Francisco when she'd come into the city, and she'd do shows in the same week, go out. And we just became friends. We had a great time. So when Oscar died, she was phenomenal to me. So she called me the morning after he died. She called me. How sorry, I was so touched right there.
Sure.
And my husband and I love the Rat Pack. Frank's not my grandparents.
I wish I was born in that era. I was born in the wrong era. So, but
my husband, he loved it. So she called me and she said, so sorry. And she said, Maureen, when I saw the news last night on Facebook, I had posted it. She said, I went right in my room and I got down on my hands and knees and I prayed to my dad, Dean Martin. And she said, Dad, let him into the party tonight. Let him in. He's a good guy, And I said, oh, Dina. And I said, Oscar, thinking of him up there with Frank and Sammy and Dean.
And I said, Joey Bishop and
having their scotch and his cigar. I could just see him. And I said, but Dina, please, I don't want him near Marilyn Monroe.
I know.
I said, I don't want him near Marilyn. Not today.
Yep.
And she said, oh, Maureen, Marilyn was harmless. I said, well, just give him a few days to not have to be around Marilyn.
And then bring her in. But just let it be the guys at first, So, that's funny.
I think about that all the time when I think of him up in heaven. I think he's with Frank and Dean. And Dina said he's with Uncle Frank and Uncle Sam. I thought, oh my, and I said, please, no Marilyn. I don't want him around Marilyn. Give him a few weeks or
give a few weeks,
So when I think of him there, I think of him with Uncle Frank and Dean and Uncle Sammy, and he could be with Marilyn now. It's been 6 years.
It's been 6 years, so no, it's okay.
I'll give you a pass.
You got to give him a break. I mean, if any guy's like by Marilyn, I mean, it's just the way Marilyn.
Well, he did like blondes. Oscar.
Yep, that's right. Well, let's get into the meat of this, if we can. We want to start off here briefly. Well, not briefly. We're going to go into this. See, you may have or may not have seen Shawn Ryan on Tucker Carlson's podcast this past Friday. I believe it dropped, and Maureen, she watched every minute of it, which was interesting.
Which is unusual. I don't normally do that, but it sucked me in.
Yes. And it would, because they're both, may I say this first? They're both what you would think would be true conservative males. They were. Tucker libertarian. So, but I'm saying in the general sense of things, libertarians damn near conservative now, just like, a Democrat is socialist at this point. Like they're kind of so far separated that and they're both somewhat polarizing at times and both controversial at times, and both have had thoughts and different, as I said, they're going down a different path at this point. Now, whether that's because they are awake to some things. They have privy to some information you and I don't have, and a lot of people don't have out there. Could very well be true. I don't disagree with that whatsoever. So bringing those two together was going to be, there were going to be fireworks, and there were going to be things said, and there were going to be clips for sure that were going to come out of that were going to make news, and some certainly have. The one we want to start with, Maureen, and this is crazy to me. Maybe you can describe it a little bit, but it's really Shawn talking about the lies in general.
One thing, well, there was a lot of things that stood out to me in this podcast. It was, I think, an hour and 50 minutes. I mean, it was a long podcast.
Long podcast.
Shawn Ryan said, and Tucker said the same thing. He said, you can come at me all you want, but I know stuff you'll never know.
Yeah.
And I think that is, me being in media, doing the things I've done, there's things I know too that other people don't know, that I don't have. I've had things said to me and I've been told, don't go on the record. I mean, I don't know things this deep.
Yes.
But,
yeah.
And people would always ask me like, oh, why'd you? Or I said, let me tell you, I know stuff. Like, don't think what they're putting out there is the truth, or is they're just putting stuff out there that they want us to know.
Yes.
And it's very disheartening. It was very disheartening for me when people would say, well, they said, and I'd say, you don't know the whole truth. So don't, just don't. We'll never know it.
We'll never know, right?
Right. And that was something that Shawn Ryan said. He said, well, I know things that you'll never know. So don't come after me. And Tucker Carlson said the same thing. And I totally believe that. They know things.
I do. I believe that.
And we'll go ahead and play this clip.
Yeah, do you want to play this now? And then we can, of course, address
because I think it's very important when we're sitting on this verge of going, well, I mean, we're already at war with Iran. But let's go back. This is going to be about the Iraq war and the false flag that started this war. And that really, this is why I couldn't watch the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I wasn't interested after I saw.
After you saw this. And
the whole podcast made me like,
wait a second. Like, it
shook me.
Bullshit.
It really shook me. This podcast shook me. Yeah. And I even said to you, don't watch it. Enjoy the weekend, because it shook me.
Yep. You want to play? Well, I'll play this up. Let's bring this up on stage here. Got something else going on here. Here we go. So this is Shawn talking to Tucker about that false flag on the Iraq war, which Shawn was part of. So
he was a SEAL. He was a Navy SEAL, and then he did counterintelligence. He's a very knowledgeable person.
Correct. Here it is.
He can trust. And I interviewed this guy, Pete Blaber. Have you heard of Pete Blaber? No. Pete Blaber was a colonel over at Delta. And I mean, we both know there's tons of lies have come out of the military. It's
I've noticed.
Yeah. I mean, some of the biggest, he talked about the Pat Tillman stuff. He talked about Operation Anaconda. Still another lie coming out of Development Group. Lots of lies coming out of the SEAL teams. Lots of movies made that were bullshit. But he actually uncovered a lot of that stuff on my show because he was a part of it. And like the Iraq invasion was based off of lies. Do you know about this? The water truck and the air conditioning unit and the Sentry Guard?
No.
So there was a Delta unit out there. And when Colin Powell was, SecDef? Was that what he was?
Yeah, or Secretary of State.
Yeah, Secretary, whatever. And they sent him some imagery, and Pete said, I don't want to hear what you guys think this stuff is. Me and my guys will figure it out. We'll get it back to you, and then you'll have an unbiased. We don't want to be swayed. And so they checked into it. And so what I guess Department of State said was a mobile Scud missile launcher and a WMD factory with a huge air filtration system on the roof and sentry guards outside the door. What Delta, arguably the best special operations unit in the world came up with that's a water truck, huge water truck, because they're in the middle of the desert and they need water. And that big air filtration unit on the roof is an air conditioner.
Because they're in the desert.
And the sentry guard outside is dude taking a piss. And he sent it in, and they totally discarded everything and launched the invasion. And so, and then there's, about all the thing. I don't want to get into it, but with all the lies coming out of just the SEAL teams alone. And
there are a lot of lies coming out of the SEAL teams.
Oh yeah. It's this was a total fuck up. Let's hand out some awards and turn some people into heroes and that kind of stuff.
Wow, Maureen.
Is that not a kick in the gut?
Yeah.
And I want to say, I don't think the SEAL team members are lying. I think the government, the things the SEAL teams probably did, and I don't know this because Shawn, I have to go back and look at the shows he's referring to, but I think the SEAL teams did what they were supposed to do. Maybe it didn't go the way the government wanted it to go, and then honored them and told them they were heroes and whatever. I don't know. I'm not holding anything against our troops
at all.
They are doing what they were told to do.
Correct. They were doing.
And I went and did some research on the Iraq War. Now, this doesn't include Afghanistan, which we invaded after 9/11.
Right after. Yep, correct.
So the Iraqi War, it started March 20th of 2003, ended August 31st, 2010. So 7 years we were over there for a water truck, a guy taking a pee, and
an air conditioner.
Yeah. Officially, it ended on 12/15/2018. The numbers I could get: 4,500 killed in Iraq, 32,000 wounded. Cost of War project is from Brown University. Over 30,000 9/11 vets have died by suicide.
Wow.
Yeah, and and the Afghan War started on October 7th, 2001, right after 9/11.
9/11.
Because of Al-Qaeda.
Yep.
And I did not write down the numbers of the loss in Afghanistan, but because we were talking about the false flag in Iraq.
Correct.
So if we go back to that, we remember the weapons of mass destruction. The UN was supposed to be able to go in, and they said that they gave too much time, and that the Iraqis were able to hide the WMDs.
Correct.
So as we sit on the cliff of Iran, is he going to send boots in? Are we going to go full on? I'm not feeling confident about what's happening in Iran.
Yeah, I don't think anybody is. And I think this issue alone is also what's going to be to the detriment of the Republicans in the midterms. I think this issue alone.
Yes. And remember when you had the first time I was on the show as a guest, and you asked me about Tucker and him denouncing the GOP.
Correct.
And I kind of knew all of this, but I was sort of like, well, this is why. And it was very evident in the Shawn Ryan, Tucker Carlson podcast. They both talked about they don't ever want to have anybody on again that's political. They worked hard to get a lot of these people elected. Trump, cabinet members. I mean, Shawn Ryan talks about this extensively in this podcast about cabinet member Pete Hegseth.
Yes.
And how he had Pete on the show, and then 5 days later he was
correct.
Voted. They voted to have him as. And they talked a lot about like ego and how you get sucked into being Shawn Ryan and Tucker Carlson. You get all these clicks, you get all these views, you get all this, and then you lose sight of what really is happening. And I think that's kind of I mean, Shawn Ryan said a lot, but that was one of the things that he said.
Yeah, I've got a couple other clips from that. If you don't mind me playing it, but,
Yeah.
let's if you let me play this one, and then it's an interesting. I also have a couple takes, but this is very interesting.
What are you talking about? I thought we could all sleep well at night now, knowing that Epstein legitimately killed himself, right?
What was that?
Did that just come out?
It's just two guys that I really like. I mean, I love Bongino, but he's a friend of mine. But you weren't convinced by that?
No.
Why?
I mean, I've dug into that, and it's just so spooky what's going on with that, and how nobody. I mean, how do you charge a guy with sex trafficking when there's no end users that have been charged? Who did he traffic to?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a great question. I don't know. You got me on that one.
I mean, right? How do you charge him with that if there's no? I mean, if that's where the trail starts, where does it end? We haven't. So, I think there's just a lot more going on than the majority of people know about.
What do you think that was?
What do I think it was?
Yeah.
I think it was a blackmail operation.
That was my point of this video.
What do you think it was?
I think it was a blackmail operation run by the CIA and the Israeli intel services, and probably others. You know, French intelligence always has a hand in everything, I've noticed. So probably them too. You know, but the usual, darkest forces in the world colluding to make rich and powerful people obey their agenda.
I mean, look, though, I don't understand why nobody has come out on it. Nobody has come out on it, right? I mean, because if you paint the scenario, I mean, you get on a jet, maybe you're totally innocent. You don't know what's going on. Two hot women come out of the whatever stewardess place, come out, and one thing leads to another.
Yes.
I mean, and then what happens? They go, "Oh, we got you. You're on camera. And by the way, these girls are 15 or 16 or whatever the hell they were, right?" Mm-hmm. And, but I mean, yes. If you're a married guy, it's pretty fucked up that you're doing that. But I mean, it's nothing new under the sun. So why wouldn't you just scream blackmail at the top of your lungs?
So that's kind of where I wanted to go with that one, because I thought that was an interesting clip on there, because we've talked about Epstein and almost ad nauseum at this point, right? Because nothing happens. You can talk about it. You can, again, it wasn't really subject matter prior to Trump's reelection.
And
nobody was really talking about it.
Why was that? Because they wanted to get him. I have said from day one, if there was anything in those files that would have brought down Trump, they would have brought it out in 2015.
Oh, Hillary would have got that without a doubt, regardless.
They knew what could take him down. They knew it wasn't in there. Why they released them?
Yeah. That's,
it's like, and I don't think we're going to see the rest of them. People have said to me, "Oh no, it's going to be the October surprise." No, I don't think so.
No.
See them again.
No.
I think we're going to
bus
see
has left
them.
the station there.
Yes, and I don't know. Is this what Israel's holding over Trump? I'm sure they have the entire file.
So if Israel, but my point is if Israel's holding it over Trump, Israel would have held it over anybody. I mean, they would hold it over everybody.
Well, Israel has tried to get every U.S. president since Jimmy Carter to go into Iran, and it's never worked.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they doing it now? And why is Trump agreeing? Maybe they never, the Epstein files weren't a hot issue.
Mm-hmm.
They really weren't a hot issue till Trump took office in 2024, and they made it another hot issue.
Yeah, correct.
I don't know, but I was very much in support of Trump going into Iran. Now all of these people are coming out, highly ex-CIA people, our friend Leah, I mean, they're all doing deep dives. Like, they never really, they might have had uranium capability, but they weren't 2 weeks away from a nuclear missile. They weren't, I don't know. Somebody who Tucker and Shawn talked about this. The one person they trust who I would love to be able to interview was Joe Kent.
Oh, really?
And I watched a couple of videos. Joe Kent did some podcasts recently, and I watched all of them.
Yeah.
And he was center intelligence. You know, he worked for the Trump administration. He was worked in the intelligence. Like, I can't counterintelligence.
Why was
I don't
he
know
let go?
Because he spoke the truth about a couple of things, and he was let go. And his wife was killed in Iraq in, I think, 2018. She was in this. They were both, you know, in Army intelligence, and and he really gives a detailed drill down of this is what's going on. This is what happened. This is, and I don't know. I believed everything in 2001 when we went into Afghanistan. I believed everything when we went into Iraq.
Yeah.
I don't believe this.
Yep. And you don't believe it because we find out things afterwards too. And people do deep dives and going into Iraq
we
in
didn't have,
and
but we didn't have this kind of information.
No, that's true. That's why you're right.
And we have highly skilled, highly intelligent, highly knowledgeable people coming out and saying, this is what happened. I was there. I was, you know, Shawn Ryan was a Navy SEAL.
Yes.
He was counterintelligence. He did all kinds of high level work. And I think he's been very open about it. It damaged him. He's had a lot of alcohol problems. He went through a lot of issues. And now in this video, he talks about how he had this spiritual awakening.
Correct.
And he's become very deep into his Catholic faith, and he saw evil. He said that he has seen evil. And the other thing that I saw in this was he said, if you have to know God to know evil. You have to know God to know evil.
Yep.
And whatever this awakening trip that he went on, he literally said that he saw true demons and evil. And
which is something Tucker had before as well.
And he now wants to focus on his shows are going to be about protecting children. This huge pedo ring we have here in the United States. We're the #1 country of downloaded child porn.
Yes.
We have just this incredible amount of our children are not protected.
No, correct.
And nobody's talking about that.
No.
Nobody's talking about that.
Nope.
So he wants to focus on that. He also dropped a new app. It's called Glacier. He's had this kid on his show. I don't know his name, but he was like a hacker. Yep. And then the kid turned into now helping people.
He's a white hat hacker at this point.
Bless you. So this kid created this Glacier app or phone that they're very expensive. And so now they created this app so that you can block everything. You're protected. You've got all these. Excuse me.
Oh, no, that's okay. Bless you.
So that's kind of the pivot he's now making. And he doesn't ever want to have another politician or anyone on his show. So do we need this? Is this a good thing? What do you think?
Well, yeah, I think it's a good thing in general. My question when this always happens and we talk about, is the app a good thing and keeping, yes, I've watched his episode.
What he's doing.
What he's doing. Yes, I think it's 100% a good thing. I mean, he's had on there before that guy talk about Roblox, that game.
Yeah.
I've got son who's got a daughter our granddaughter, and she was playing that, and I sent him, I said, you got to get her the hell off of that and get her, which, you know, they've listened to. And yes, it's a good thing to do that. And I think that's a great direction and a path because the youth are the future. And we all understand that. And there's, you know, the Marxist playbook is give me 4 years with your children, you'll never get them back. You know, that's the general rule of thumb. And that's why elementary schools are grooming them all the way up into high schools, all the way up into colleges, the liberal colleges and all that. I mean, they've had decades of trying to groom your children to think this way and or become this other person, right?
Well, and he also talked about the addiction of media, social media.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yes.
And you know what? Another amazing, I don't know if you saw this, but he was saying that Apple, what is their emblem? The apple with the bite out of it.
Yeah, that's Adam and Eve stuff.
Adam and Eve,
yep.
the evil.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never thought about that until I saw that.
I didn't either, but it makes total sense, you know, to do that. Let me put up this comment here from Mike too. I'm waiting for him to release his episode with Pastor Josh Howerton. If he releases it, he tends to gravitate to the exorcists. Josh might convert him to Protestant. I thought that had, well, he does have the episode released with the priest. Yes. I don't know if that was him or,
I don't think.
Yeah, I don't think so either. So,
but the priest talked about like the end days and how we, you know, Saint Michael will come, like they'll, and then God will step in, and you know, like, are we at the end days? Like, I thought this for years, but
of course we all have. This is it. This is the end time.
Again, Tucker and Shawn Ryan are attacked for saying the truth.
Yes, and I think because and let me be the devil's advocate on this side of it. Because I think a lot of us sit back and we think to ourselves, we are in a two-party system at this point. There's no third party jumping in there. There's nobody. It's too deep state to let a third party independent, really straight shooter, you know, maybe would be a little bit more liberally social, but fiscally conservative. There's no, that kind of, those days are, we think, are done, right? So there's two parties here. And then you got to look at both parties, and it's always the term lesser of two evils. Who is the lesser of two evils? I don't know at this point if there is a lesser of two evils, but I think there is a party that does stand more for America and its constitutional values than I do another party who wants Democrat, socialist America to take over. So you got to pick a side.
There's evil in government, no matter
100%.
And
I don't trust any of them.
Yeah, and I think a lot of these politicians get into leadership with all good intentions, and then immediately they see this is not how it works.
Correct.
You got to play the game.
You'll never have good people in there. Yeah,
and also Shawn Ryan made a good point about, like, we're a schizophrenic leadership company, our country.
Yeah.
4 years is not. I don't believe 4 years is long enough to be a president. And he made that point. And like, okay, Joe Biden sets all these policies, and then all these countries are like, wait a minute, we just had, and then we get in 4 years later, we get Trump, and then he redoes all these, and then these countries are like, whoa,
wait, what do we do now? You know,
and he's like, no wonder why people don't want to deal with the U.S. because it's changing every 4 years, these policies. And I thought that was a really good point. Like, wow.
It's a good point. And I've always thought about that in a way, like, geez, in 4 years, you know, none of this is going to matter. Any executive decision you write, anything you do, whoever you pardon, you're going to pardon at the end. So whoever gets arrested could be pardoned, whoever, you know, I mean, you're right. That system that time frame never made sense to me. But then I look back, could we have done in 8 years of Biden, or could we have done, 16 years of Obama? Or
I know, but I really do think 4 years is when
you got 6 years for senators, I would think 6 years could be a better.
For the rest of their life,
for the rest of their life, for the most part, you're right. But 6 years for senators and only 4 for president seems a little backwards to me.
You know, my son worked on Capitol Hill. He had a pretty high level position, and he said they're all bad.
Yeah.
He's like,
I think we all know that too.
So they all go out, they all scream and yell at each other, and they all go out and drink afterwards and have a cocktail. Like, don't think they're all fighting and they don't like each other. It's all, they want clicks. It's, it's like they're all bad. He's like,
I agree with this, Mike. 2 6-year terms with a possible third, if not consecutive. I don't disagree with that. I think that would be something. 4
years is not enough time because 2 of those years they're campaigning.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the process.
Yeah.
You're campaigning most of the time. And I agree with that 100%.
And then just to get your cabinet nominations, I mean, some of Trump's cabinet, they're still not even nominated. Or
no, and there's no recess appointments, zero
approved.
recess appointments. So there's a Senate issue. There's a John Thune issue to me on that end too. So what's
judges?
Thune
He still has
Who's
federal
him?
judges
Yes.
that haven't been in front of a committee to be appointed. I mean,
correct.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll say this. I watched that. I don't normally watch a full podcast like that. I sat down on Friday, I watched it, and I was shook.
I'll have to watch the whole thing because I am very interested in it.
It's a little slow getting into it, but he does start out right away with that false flag. Yeah. And then he goes into, and he kind of,
Shawn's demeanor is a little slow anyways.
Yeah. And it was a little like, but stick with it. And the message is really very, I don't want to say like it's no hope, because there's always hope. We have to always believe there's hope, but it's very eye-opening. And and the thing that is, I feel the most beneficial is that you're going to be able to make your decision on how you feel about the way our government and things that are happening. I don't know what we can do to change it, but it's going to give you.
During that conversation, without watching the whole thing, because I didn't, and I really have to, and I will now. Did either of them talk about who are they just not going to vote anymore? Are they
didn't
just
really talk about that? They didn't. Really...
So that's always my question to them. It's like I understand your beliefs and I understand the direction you're going to, and you both have millions upon millions upon millions of followers and listeners that are listening to you too right now discuss what is going on in the world. And are you saying that Kamala would have been a better choice? Are you saying you're not going to vote for
that?
Well, that's my question to them.
And I would just say watch it, because it really talks about the psyche of America, what social media is doing to us, how we're poisoned by bad information, being addicted to our phones,
100%.
Being told all of these things. That was more of what they were talking about, in my opinion. It was like, listen, everybody, wake up, put your phones away, get them away from your kids. You know why? Because
on a day-to-day basis, we run into human beings everywhere we go. And on a day-to-day basis, I have zero problems with anybody I run into.
Exactly.
Right? And it's because we want to be good people.
They're manufactured by this.
Of course. You're seeing on your algorithm what they want you to see. You know it. We've all done this.
This is how they want us to think. Yeah. Plus, they're watching everything we do. That was another big part of it. Just how we are absolutely surveilled from the morning we wake up till
your iPhone is taking pictures of you at 1,000 pictures a second. Like it's insane.
It's way beyond 1984. Like it's like that.
And now we got to deal with flock cameras everywhere we go. Like, what is happening? Yeah. Oh, you're right. You're right, Maureen.
No, it's just a very, like I said, it shook me. I didn't want to watch the White House Correspondents' Dinner. I just kind of like sat and
because it's useless, right? Yeah. At this point, it's all useless.
I don't think Trump is a bad person.
I
really don't think any of our leaders, Democrat, Republican, I don't think that. They get into it and then they get sucked in and they pick their side and they get there and it's media. He was like, these guys get in front of a camera and then they get all these likes and comments and then they get sucked into that. And then they become, it's just, it's just not the way our government was supposed to be. But maybe our world wasn't supposed to be this way either.
Of course it wasn't.
Yeah.
Of course it wasn't. Mini Ball says this, your phone takes your picture. I guess I better start wearing a bra every day. Yeah, you better be careful.
They better not put bad pictures of me out. Don't put bad pictures.
Better not. That's for sure.
Let me look at those pictures first before I approve them.
Exactly. Anyway, so that's it. Thank you so much for the research and for watching that and bringing that to here, because I do agree. I just always want to ask those guys the question, well, who's your choice then?
Who is your... That was not what they were talking about.
I know that,
but saving humanity from everything that this is created. Like,
I don't disagree with that, you know, and
and
I agree that should be
I
the
don't think
message.
any candidate is going to be able to.
Me neither. That's my point too. I'm
save
not
us
saying pick
from
one.
this.
I'm saying what would be the solution, I guess, at that point.
Yeah,
But
they didn't talk.
it's hard because
It was really a show to say, look, this is what we've seen. This is what
Yep.
we know. This is what we've done to stop it. This is how I'm now living my life.
Yep.
It was that kind of a show.
Yep, which is perfect.
And I have total respect for both of them. And the world better wake up, because I think the last time I looked, Tucker had 5 million views on that podcast. I mean, did CNBC get 5 million views on Sunday morning, or, you know, like,
no.
And I don't even know how many views on TikTok. I didn't look, but you know, that's a lot of people.
It's a lot of people.
This war, Israel, you know, it's just, we need to be.
I'm not in agreement with most of everything. I don't disagree with a lot of what they're saying on there. I do not at all. And I know that show wasn't about that. You know, the ones that are out there, you know, saying this thing about
this show was about telling us what the military and the government has told us it's not true. So we better wake up.
Yep. Yeah, if you
look at Vietnam, we didn't have social media.
Oh no, you're right.
Can you imagine if we had social media? And
we can go back to every big story. Look at 9/11. Look at what actually got us into that war.
Why have they never released any of the 9/11 documents? Nothing.
Correct.
Never released it. You know, I always say it's like the shock and awe. You know, we have the shock and awe, and everybody's in awe, and then the government does all this stuff when you're still in shock and awe.
Yep.
And then it takes a while for you to get out of that. And then you're like,
it sure does.
Wait a minute. I don't remember that. Well, because we're in shock.
We're in shock. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Same thing with Charlie Kirk. That was a shock and awe, right?
Exactly. So there's Butler, Pennsylvania was a shock and awe moment. There's so many. Yeah, I don't know that I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't believe almost anything I hear or see.
We shouldn't.
At this point.
We shouldn't.
And that's where I guess I'm stuck.
You know, I'll say this.
How does that change?
Yeah, I'll say this and then we can move on. But John Kiriakou, who I love, former CIA agent, is all over TikTok. He's famous. Yeah. He said one time, the most powerful man in the world will never know his name.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
it's not the president.
Nope. Oh, no.
So
you're right.
We'll
never know his name. And I'm sure it changes. So we'll never know his name.
I think he said there might be one or two, but we'll never know them.
That's crazy, right? Think about it.
Yeah.
It's Illuminati stuff, if you ask me.
I mean, Epstein, Rothschild, you know.
Yep. Oh boy. Do you want to hear what J.D. Vance, who was on Joe Rogan podcast, again, another massive, huge podcast, and Joe Rogan was asking, who I love Rogan's podcast.
He's right here in Texas. He's an hour away from
right
me.
There in Austin. Yep. Isn't he? Like just in Austin, Texas?
Yeah, he's in Austin. Yeah, he's an hour away from me.
Isn't that where Theo Vaughn is too? I'm a Theo Vaughn fan. So
I love Theo Vaughn. I don't think he's in Texas.
No, maybe not.
Caleb, the finance guy, he's in Austin too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know where Theo does his from, but I know he's a Louisiana guy, but I don't think it's.
I love Theo.
I do too. Love him.
Love him.
He cracks me up. Always has. J.D. Vance talking to Joe Rogan. First, they talked briefly about the Epstein. Real short clip on that, but first, I want to play. Joe Rogan asked him about Iran and about Israel and the influence Netanyahu may have, or Israel in general, on the president and this war. And this is what J.D. Vance had to say. Let me put this up here.
That Israel is affecting American political judgment?
I mean,
interesting.
I certainly think that there are a lot of talking points and there are a lot of arguments that make their way into American political discourse. think there are a lot of social media campaigns that definitely influence Americans and affect Americans. Do I think that it's been dispositive on any particular issue? Like I think that's a much more difficult question.
Do you think that we would have started this war in Iran without the influence of Israel?
I think the president, completely separate from any influence from Israel, believes very strongly, and again, I agree with this, that Iran should not have a nuclear weapon.
Right,
and I
but
think he was
after
willing
we
to do things.
bombed them in June, right? That was the initial attack, right?
June of last year.
Yeah.
Midnight Hammer, yeah.
Right. Do you think he would have continued with the most recent campaign if it wasn't for the influence of Israel?
Yes, I do.
Really?
I do, yeah. Look,
Now, why? Why does he think that? Do you think that, Maureen? Is that something you believe?
Well, let's break that down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
We do not want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Never have we. So
Of course not.
let's go back to Jimmy Carter to now. It's 50 years. Why was every president able to be sure they didn't have a nuclear bomb?
Mm-hmm.
To now they're supposed to be 2 weeks away from it. But then if you listen to Joe Ken, he's like, they weren't 2 weeks away. And they will just be able to go back and enrich. They might, it's a long process. It'll take them a long time to have nuclear capabilities on a missile. Like that would take a long time. So they were not anywhere near that. So says Joe Ken. Why now? Why couldn't Trump have just kept them at bay? We went in there in December, wasn't it? The first bombing in December, obliterated. That wasn't good enough. They went back in June, did the massive bombing.
Why? The question, I think that's what everybody asks too.
Why? And another point that Tucker Carlson made was, now we just gave Iran more reason to have a nuclear weapon, because we wouldn't go in and do that to North Korea.
No, I mean, when they have one.
We wouldn't do it to Russia. We wouldn't do that because they have nuclear capabilities. That's the one way, and us too. That is how we stay safe as a nation. These are how these nations remain safe, because they have nuclear capabilities.
Yes.
Now it's all the more reason for Iran to want to
try
have nuclear
to have
capabilities,
nuclear
because
capabilities.
that's how they would have stayed safe. I don't know. I find it very disheartening. Now, I felt that J.D. Vance also said in that interview that, I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say. Did he actually say that he didn't agree with Netanyahu? He agreed, like he's trying to.
He did.
back.
There was. I couldn't find that clip, Maureen. I know.
Let me see my notes. I wrote notes about it.
Yeah, because he did say that. You're right. Defense U.S. policy. I believe Trump would have acted. Okay, we did. Yeah. Yeah, sorry
he did
about that.
About Epstein too,
Yeah,
saying that there were intelligence claims regarding it. I mean, I would certainly hate to think that all of this comes down to the fact that Bibi's holding the Epstein files. From what I have heard from other intelligence people that have said, if those Epstein files ever came out in the full form,
that's what we've all heard. Yep, it would take down.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess we've gone to war over lesser things than
we have
bringing down the entire Western civilization, right?
Correct. So if that's really what we think it is about we've got this, and if there's nothing on Trump, well, why would Trump even care? Why would Trump?
It's not about him. It's about what he knows. It's about all the other people. But also interesting, I kind of think the midterms are going to be won because of Israel and who's going to support Netanyahu and who's not. There's a lot of people coming out that are not supporting Netanyahu. They don't want America sending billions of dollars to Israel anymore. I mean, the state of Texas alone sends like 1.8 billion a year to Israel.
Yeah.
Israel is the size of New Jersey. There's 90, I don't even know how many, 9 million people, 9 million. I can't think of it.
I think so.
Small. They have free healthcare, free education. They have everything. They have everything, and we send them billions of dollars.
Yep.
People are starting to wake up about that, and that might be what the Republicans win or lose if they decide, okay, we're going to be America first, because that's what Trump ran on, and I think that was the other thing that really pissed off Tucker. It was like, wait,
I agree with that part 100%.
This is not what I did to get you, because
Mhm.
Tucker worked very hard getting Trump elected.
Yes.
And he talks about this, and he's like, we have to be America first.
Yeah. I agree with
And
that.
yeah,
I think we all agree with that. And that's why when we were, I think there for a minute, we thought, okay, we're getting back to that. He's going to the Mack truck plant. He's talking to, and then all of a sudden it's back to all of this. And the constant, we've got a deal. No, we don't have a deal. And because you can't really deal with terrorists in general like this, they're spread out everywhere. They are. They have terrorist organizations, like it or not.
But why has Israel never been attacked by Islam? They've never had any kind of terrorist attack on there.
Well, you can call
Israel.
October 7th.
Well, no, but I mean, like, they don't have
Okay.
Al Qaeda. They haven't had Houthis. They haven't had
Hamas. I mean, like, those
that's
are the people
different. But I mean,
Yes.
Israel has not had, like the other Arab nations. They haven't
I
been
agree.
attacked. Iran didn't attack them until now.
Yeah.
I mean, now that there's
Well, true. Iran in general, countries don't, those, to me, I look at it that, yes, you're right. The country of Iran hasn't attacked. Those who run it, the terrorist organizations that are surrounded Israel have attacked other areas. And let's face it, the Islamic religion is set to destroy Western civilization, Christianity in general. It's not the same thought process as we have. It's hard to coexist with people like that in the world.
I also saw it on Tibet David, who I'm not a big fan of his.
Yeah.
I'm not a super big fan of him. I think he's I don't know. I watch his podcast occasionally, but he had an ex-CIA op on his show.
Yeah.
I don't know his name. And Tibet David asked him, list the #1 most dangerous countries. And he put China at 50, Israel 25, 25%, and Islam 5, everybody else was 5. And Tibet David was like shocked. He's like, what? And he said, Israel's never going to bomb us. We don't have to worry about that. But they have all of our intelligence. They know everything that we're doing. Yeah. They have complete control over us. And Tibet David was like, no, and he's
no
like,
way, that's anti-Semitic. It's,
No. He was like, but Islam's, they're gonna, and he's like, I'm not worried about Islam. I'm not worried about that at all. I'm worried about a country like China and Israel that has all of our intelligence. They can tap into our systems. They can do so much more damage than we're even aware of.
Yep.
That woke me up too.
Yep, I agree. Danny had this to say. I'm real quick. I want to put up. You can't have a peace deal with someone who has demonstrated repeatedly that they're not going to honor it. Correct. I agree with that. There's not going to be the whole peace in the Middle East is a pipe dream to me. It always has been. There is confliction there, and it's all over whose land belongs to who, and it's the common age-old conquering of land and resources under the land, whether it's minerals or oil or you name it, doesn't, uranium or oil, it doesn't matter. So there's never going to be peace, I think, in general. I think that's a pipe dream, and that's just the way it is. That's the world.
Well, I said this back on the show.
Excuse me.
I came on as a guest on your show saying, I'm just sick of the Middle East. I'm sick of it.
Oh, I am
I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. Now we've got the Strait, we've got the Suez Canal, we've got Saudi Arabia bombed, the oil fields were bombed. It's like now it's just a big mess again.
It is. Yeah.
And I'm sick of it.
And I don't think it had to be. Yeah.
Peace through strength, right? Peace through strength. Why couldn't we have just kept Iran at bay with our strength and our surveillance and our intelligence?
Which was the first bombing, which I think most people were like, okay, we did it. We showed them that this is who you're going to deal with. This is what could happen. Yes, this second go around, I don't understand it.
And now where are we? Is he going to have to put boots on the ground? Are we going to, I didn't look at the oil.
Which would be the downfall of his whole.
Somebody knows the price of oil today. I would like to know. I didn't look at it, but I'm sure the oil markets are.
It's gone up. I can't remember what it is now, but of course it's gone up again.
Gas is back up here, high 3s. It was down to $2.99. I mean, so I'll say this in closing. Trump's not running again. No matter
Correct.
what, if he put the 28 hat on, he's not running.
Yep.
So he's going to play this out. He's a lame duck president, basically, at this point, right? It's going to be J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio. I would like to see Rubio. I don't know. So we need to pay attention to them.
I
we
agree.
Need to pay attention
I
to
agree.
what they're saying. I have a
agree.
feeling J.D. Vance in his tweet and some of the things he says, he's pushing back on Bibi. He's like, you're not going to tell us. We're not going to do this. And Trump's got to let that play out, right? Because that's going to be the successor. Because I don't think the Democrats, it came out this weekend. The DNC is broke. They can't pay their vendors.
Correct.
Obama can't pay the contractors.
Contractors are all going bankrupt.
Vendors are coming out saying, no, we're not going to do anything for you for these midterms. They're having like conventions and whatnot. And vendors are all saying, no, we haven't been paid from 2024.
Yes.
So they're broke. They're relying on the DSA it's just, we've got to pay attention to Rubio and J.D. Vance and just be aware. Watch these podcasts. Watch our podcast. We'll bring you the news that we see that it's a problem.
I agree. Now I do have, and it's about 5 minutes, and it's Senator Tim Sheehy and his reasons for why we need to go into Iran and why this. Did you watch it at all? I maybe don't have to play the whole thing. So because of, in the absence of time here, but I think it's worth listening to his version. He also was a Navy SEAL. He also went through he has seen what has happened also. And he's a senator. And so I would like to think he is also privy to some information that we don't have as well. Just like Tucker and Shawn know things we don't know and will never know. I feel he also does know this. So, but it's his take on it. Do you mind if I play just a little bit of that? And it's very, very interesting. Let's hear it. It's Senator Tim Sheehy. He's out of the great state of Montana. This was him on the Senate floor I think this past Friday.
For Montana.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yesterday we saw the President of the United States and many others at Dover Air Force Base presiding over a ceremony that is very sacred to those of us who served, and that is a dignified return of remains from the war zone. And that process happens beginning in the war zone through Dover to the hometown of our fallen heroes. I participated in many of those ceremonies myself, to include carrying friends of mine off the plane. One of those is on this bracelet. He was cut in half by an Iranian EFP. This regime that we are fighting does not care about our partisan politics. They don't care who you voted for, who you pray to, or where you live. They want to kill all of us. And they don't just say it, they actually do it. And they've been doing it for 47 years. This is a war of choice. The Democrats are correct. It's a war of choice that was begun by a radical, lunatic band of terrorists that took over a beautiful nation 47 years ago. Took it over with brutality, force, and savagery. And the second they took it over, they didn't free their people. They didn't unleash the largest oil reserves in the world to build schools and bridges. They took it over to murder their own people and to spread their disgusting ideology across the world, and that is exactly what they have been doing. They don't just say it and talk about it. You don't have to believe what they say. You can simply watch what they've done. They have attacked families, women, children, innocent people. They don't just attack them and kill them. They rape them. They skin them alive on camera. They celebrate it. They honor those people who do disgusting things that we would put in jail for the rest of their lives in this country. And they do it for fun, and they pay them money to do it, and they're heroes to that nation. They've done it to friends of mine. They've done it to families who've been in this chamber. And the fact that we sit here and listen to elected officials of this country defend these lunatics who want us all dead. They want all of you dead. They want all of us dead. They don't want us to disappear with the snap of a finger. They want us to be raped, burned alive, and cut into pieces. Watch the video from October 7th. That's what they want to happen from Maine to San Diego, from Seattle to Miami. They want this country turned into a burning husk of its former self. And you don't have to theorize that. That's what they do. From the 1983 barracks bombing, where 280 Marines were vaporized in a morning, from USS Cole to the Achille Laurel to every terrorist attack, from the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas. These are not humanitarian freedom organizations. They are death-dealing cults, and they want all of us to die brutal deaths. William Buckley was abducted in 1985, an American military officer. He was skinned alive on camera by the Iranians. American prisoners of war who were captured. They were never called prisoners of war because they were captured by lunatic terrorists, so they were not subject to the Geneva Convention. They were captured and murdered. Power drills through their brains. This is in Iraq. These are families that have dealt with this, and they've never gotten a single dime. These families have never gotten restitution, and not a single president has ever stood up to them. Love Donald Trump or hate him. Love his policies, hate ICE, love ICE, whatever. There's never been a single president who has stood up to Iran and hit back. For 47 years, our troops and our families have been absorbing attack after attack after attack all over the world. And their radical ideology does not stop at the Persian Gulf. It doesn't stop at Tel Aviv. They want to do this everywhere. It's a global radical ideology. And we've been fighting it for half a century. We didn't start this war. We did not, but we will finish it. And forever wars are not popular with anybody these days. Both sides of that, I love to attack our forever wars. And I can promise you, being someone overseas wearing the uniform, when you're fighting for your country, you don't care what party's in office, but you're fighting to defend your country. And you turn on the news and see your elected officials stabbing you in the back, telling you that you're failing, that you've failed every goal of the war, is what I just heard. Last time I checked, we've wiped these bastards out. An occasional missile strike and boats in the straits, that's not military strength. Those are the flailings of a failing empire. Those are the flailings of a nation in collapse because they deserve it. So I encourage our colleagues on both sides of the aisle, whatever's politically convenient, whatever plays well on Twitter or Facebook, think about the people who are deployed right now, standing on that wall with a loaded weapon, who have volunteered to defend our country and our way of life. Because they are there defending us in a just war. Because we did not start a war with the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. They started it with us 47 years ago, and their attacks have gone unanswered for half a century. It's time to fix this problem and make sure another generation of Americans does not have to fight this murderous, savage adversary. Thank you, Mr. President.
Well, it's hard to argue that.
Okay. We went to war in Iraq. We didn't get anything for that. I don't care what he says. We went to war in Afghanistan. We didn't. Maybe we got rid of Al-Qaeda.
Correct.
Again, what he said, it's honorable. Of course, Iran, I mean, but we went and we spent 20 years in the Middle East between Iran and Afghanistan. We went to Iraq because of a water truck and an air conditioner and a man going to the bathroom. I mean,
so says them. I don't know that to be true or not either.
What did we get out of it?
I agree. What do we get out of any of it?
We're back there again. We're back there again.
But it's hard for me to disagree with a soldier who went and saw it.
I'm not. I absolutely.
No, I'm not saying you are. That's not my point, Maureen. I know that.
Give him
I know that.
But again, are we going to do the same thing and spend another 20? This is not going to be some simple war to go into Iran and get a regime change and do what we need to do. Yeah,
I agree. I totally agree with that.
Disrupt the entire Middle East. We're already disrupting so much. I don't know. I don't know. We lived through 9/11. We lived through Iraq. We lived through Afghanistan. Look what happened with Biden, the horrible withdrawal from Afghanistan. And
we lived, but a lot of didn't. So my point is that What is the point of it all?
Did we declare victory in Iraq like we did in Germany in 1945?
Oh, of course not. Of course not. Of course not. And, nor could we in Vietnam when we did it. Could not declare victory there either.
I just say to everyone, just let's be aware. I don't know if I would want to send my son. My son is not, he's too old to go serve, but do you want to send your children over and do this war like in Iraq and Afghanistan that did not give us anything? Billions of dollars. Even Trump said when he ran in 2016, like, you know, the Middle East was a disaster. We spent billions, we lost lives, and we got nothing out of it. I mean, Cheney and Halliburton and oil. I mean,
they got everything out of it. Lockheed Martin, all of them, you know, Northrop Grumman, they all get it.
It's exhausting.
It is exhausting. I too agree with you 100%. I'm sick of it. I don't know that we technically needed to go in there at any point right now, even after, I mean, even the first time we went in and bombed them. I don't know what that initial point was. I do know that there will always be terrorist organizations. I do know that we had free and open borders here in this country.
You're not going to eradicate evil ever.
You're never going to eradicate evil.
Out.
You're never going to, but I don't even know how many sleeper cells are in this country right now at this moment. Right. I don't know that. Because
let's worry about that. Let's worry about that. Let's worry about our borders. Joe Kent also said in this podcast I saw, he said that we got to get all the troops out of Europe that are protecting other people's.
That I agree.
Bring them all here, and we need to protect our southern border. We think it's protected. It's not protected from the cartels. It's not protected from the fentanyl. It's not protected from the drugs. It's not protected from the human trafficking. We need to have troops on the border, on the southern border, not so much the northern border, but the southern border. Why aren't we worrying about that? Why are we not worrying about that?
Yeah, you think we are, but are we really? I agree.
We need to. If you're worried about sleeper cells, then we need to get troops on our border.
Well, I am. I'm totally worried about sleeper cells. This is the reason why I was worried about the open borders in general. I wasn't worried about the guy who's cutting my lawn. I was worried about the Chinese nationals and the military.
We need to worry about that, not what's going on. I agree,
which is I thought what we were going to do in this administration. I thought that. I truly thought that. Yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating.
You know, my father always
controversial or confrontational with you at all.
No, I'm just, you know, my father always told me, you cannot worry about things you can't control. Worry about things you can control.
Correct.
We cannot control the Middle East and these crazy
We shouldn't police the world. You have to protect your home before you can protect it. A strong America is protection enough for the world. That I 100% agree with. We are still the last beacon of hope and freedom in this nation. We are the greatest nation ever created, and we've lasted 250 years for a reason. Because we had forefathers who saw what the future would mean and we had rules in that Constitution to follow and a Bill of Rights that we all get to enjoy. They get trampled on and they get construed in different ways. I get all that. But in general, we've survived 250 years as the greatest nation on earth.
Yeah. And we need to worry about us.
That I 100% agree. America first means something to me. I don't think
the stronger we are with our secure borders, when I mean really secure, having troops on our southern border, making sure the cartel, making sure we don't have drugs pouring in, which is still is. The fentanyl is still pouring over the border. If we are so strong and so it is. There's a lot of fentanyl in the cartels.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I don't know if it's pouring over like
it's coming in pretty strong. They have a very, very high network, the cartels, of getting what they want.
Of that.
Yes. Yeah, of getting the border is shut as far as people migrating in, and we don't have big camps of migration coming. But Joe Kent made a very good point that we need troops on our border, on the southern border. It's the only way we're going to be totally secure.
Yeah, I agree. So a couple comments here because we opened a can of worms and I started little, so I apologize, but like tar and hair sleeper cells, what about them building and taking over areas of our country with their own communities and new mosques everywhere? You're in Texas. There's a lot of them that are going up there. There's a city that for some reason they didn't have permits, but they're allowed to build. I don't understand that. Dearborn, Michigan, the entire city council, mayor, everybody's all Muslim, and they're allowing animal sacrifices because it's part of their religion. I mean, this is things that are happening in our country.
But again, I ask you, who made that comment? I didn't see the name.
Tarna is her name. Yeah.
Why are we not worrying about that? Instead, we've got all of our attention out in the country, in Iran, in the Middle East.
Amen to that. We agree 100%.
I'm sorry, there's evil there. Are we going to come in just totally flatten that country and then not have evil ever again?
No, of course we're not.
That's
of course we're not. That's the problem with it, is because the end game is either you completely destroy and vaporize them with a nuke, or you get out. There's no in between.
But they'll grow back. Evil will grow back.
Evil will grow back.
But why are we not getting rid of the evil in our own country where we have the power to
Danny says this? So yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry. He says that, Dale, that is something Trump has consistently argued since the 80s. Why are we not taking care of our own house before helping everybody else take care of theirs? I agree. And this is the exact opposite of taking care of our own house. If you look at it as there's obviously a faction that is enjoying this very much so, the war. I don't enjoy any war whatsoever. I think wars are necessary at times. I do. I think there's certainly, if somebody would have stopped Hitler ahead of time, maybe things are changing. Maybe there's a different, there's always that kind of thought process in your head. Like, if we'd have done this first, then maybe that doesn't turn out like this. And maybe 6 million Jews don't die, that way, or there's not this Holocaust. There's not this genocide that's happening. Same thing could be South Africa with the farmers. Why is nothing being done down there with white farmers? There's all sorts of stuff going on across the world that's evil. But I do agree, we need to, if we took care of ourselves and ourselves only right now and didn't worry about the outside forces and the outside influences and said, no, everything we're doing is for America and America first only.
You don't think that would be a lot
easier? That would be 100% better.
To say, we're going to secure this other, and if you don't think fentanyl is not coming through, why are
I'm
y'all
not saying it's
addicted
not.
to it
Of
on the
course,
streets?
I'm not saying that.
It is the number one drug that is still killing Americans.
Yeah.
And we know it's coming from China. It's coming through Mexico.
China through the cartels. Through the,
yes. Yeah. But don't you think that is something that we should be more worried about?
100%.
And the only reason we're worried about the Middle East is because of the oil. And Trump is going to tell us
that's
all he
my
wants.
end point. Yep.
Venezuela, he wants us all to think that, no, we've got Venezuela. No, Venezuela is not producing nearly enough oil. It doesn't have enough good oil to supply with what we need.
Correct.
So we could crack down, get rid of all of the mosques and the Sharia law and what everybody wants to do that would be,
to me, more beneficial to our country than
more
what we're
beneficial
doing right now.
And probably a lot easier just following our laws.
But why haven't we started drilling here for the resources that are under our grounds, under our property, that we could sustain ourselves for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years with? Why aren't we doing that instead of relying on foreign oil still?
But war is an industrial complex.
So 3 things that pay a lot of money to a lot of people is war, sex, trafficking, and drugs. And guess what? 3 things are in the news all the time, right? So, I mean, those are the 3 largest money makers for any nation, in America especially, is war, sex, trafficking, and drugs.
The best way to send our young people off to war is we're going to fight evil. We're never going to beat evil. We're never going to win. We're never going to beat evil. We could obliterate the entire country of Iran. And like I said, and they'll grow back in 40 years. It will come back.
Yeah, they will. They're weeds. They'll spring out of anything.
So do we just focus on making our country so strong, our borders so strong,
that whatever they do doesn't matter?
Yes, that we're just like, okay, we're just going to keep you at bay.
In a way, I agree with that. Yes. I don't disagree with you. I see
Maybe
the light.
I'm just
Maureen.
old now and I'm tired, and I'm tired of seeing another Middle Eastern conflict in the Middle East.
I agree. We've gone through it since 9/11 at this point.
Yeah.
You know,
I've been
going
through it
the-
since Reagan and the hostages.
Well, true. The
and
hostages prior to that.
Beirut,
You know.
and all of it.
Yeah, you're right.
And
You're right. Yeah, we have been.
it hasn't gotten better.
No, you're right. It hasn't gotten better at all. There will always be some new group and some weird name that terrorists will come up with. Houthis, Hamas, you name it, Taliban, Al Qaeda. Yeah, it could be, Jiffy Pop next time. I don't know. Whatever name they're going to come up with, there's going to be terrorism. There's always going to be evil. There's always going to be those that fight out there against evil. But yes, the problem is that we haven't kept our country strong for years. For years. This is to me, this is
Why is that?
Clinton to maybe Clinton, but definitely Obama forward has been, come on in, everybody, bring that side. That's to me where the fight had to start. And I think Trump fights that. I do. And I think he's doing a pretty damn good job of it here. But
Bring
this
our
whole
troops home
conflict,
from Europe and get them on our southern border and really
that
show,
100% I agree.
and
Stop,
really show
stop
a
protecting
sign of.
and especially if your allies, right, don't want to assist you in what you're doing, then pull their troops anyway. Get them out of Italy, get them out of Germany, get them out. Good luck.
We don't need them there. We don't need them.
Good
there.
luck to you.
Yeah.
I agree. We agree on that 100%.
Yeah.
Maureen, great show. Great talks.
If it's America first, we have to be America first.
I 100% agree. I 100% agree with you.
Not America first.
You make me think. Jim never made me think, I'm just kidding. You make me think because I have convictions, right? And I have strong beliefs that I agree. We do. And I feel like, we'll go back to Shawn and Tucker and we'll bring it full circle and wrap this show up, is that you have a voice out there and you have people listening. You have people, honestly, whether you think so or not, people listen to every word you're saying and they take it to heart, like it or not, like whatever you're saying or not. And I agree with what they're talking about. It's like all of us, we talk and talk and talk, but what is the true solution? They know things we don't know. So if they know things we don't know, come up with a solution we don't know. Say
let's
that.
Let's not be sold on the message that they want to put out. Okay, there's a message that they want to put out. And me personally, I'm now in the point in my life, and I think because we have all this access to more media like podcasts and Tucker and John Kiriakou and Joe Kent and all these people, where I'm like, there's a message. It's a highly polished message.
Yes.
That they want to put out.
That we agree with. They always
so we have to be able.
Since the days of 3 news networks, when you're listening to Walter Cronkite, and
that was a definite controlled message back in the day.
Yeah.
Boy, now we have the ability to drill down a little bit farther for those who want to.
Well, you're right. For those who want to, because there's a lot of people who keep their head buried in the sand because they don't want to deal with. And I get that. I get that. Boy, do I wish I didn't care about politics in a way. Sometimes I really do. What a much easier life it'd be.
You know what? I think I mentioned this to you when we were talking the other day about Trump's our last boomer president.
Yes.
There will not be another president of that generation.
Correct.
He's a boomer. Now we're looking at J.D. Vance, Marco Rubio.
We're looking at that.
What are they? Are they millennials? I don't know what they are.
I guess they'd be. Vance wouldn't be a millennial?
They're early 40s. They're early. I think isn't Vance like 42? I mean,
yeah, Rubio's
my daughter's 40. That's a millennial.
50, yeah.
But so we have to look now. There's going to be a major shift in this non-boomer generation president coming in.
No more Cold War thought processes either.
Not going to look at the world the way the boomers did. I'm a Gen Xer, but I'm on the cusp of a boomer.
Yeah,
I mean, like Obama is my age and Michelle Obama is my age.
Yeah.
So,
Correct.
So that's something to really look at too in the next election.
I agree. We need to talk more about that.
We're going to have a non-boomer generation of leaders, which I think is good. I think we need that.
Yeah,
we need
I agree.
The young thought process coming in, and are not going to look at things the way the boomer generation did.
I totally agree. Listen, folks, thank you again for joining us today. This has been an incredible show. Thank you for your comments and your thoughts out there. There's certainly a lot to talk about, and this conversation will continue because it doesn't look like there's an end in sight right now, and so unfortunately, again, we will have to continue talking about it because they won't let us stop. They won't do the right thing and let us stop talking about it.
Well, they don't know. There is no right thing.
We don't know.
You're
right. We don't. Yeah, we have an idea of what the right thing could be. Damn it, just do it. America first. You and I both agree on this 100%. America first. That's
protect ourselves. Get rid of the evil that's here that we can control.
Correct.
And get rid of.
Correct. You're right. I can't control what my neighbors in the next town are doing at this moment. I can certainly control what happens in my house. And that's exactly what America has to think about. This is our house. Control it. I agree 100%.
And you know what? If your neighbor was starving, would you feed that kid or would you feed your own? I'd feed my own.
I feed my own.
First.
Yeah.
So
I feed my own. Of course I'd feed my own first. That's the mindset you have to have here. So Maureen, tell on tomorrow is going to be a great show. We on the America First Warehouse and the America First Media and Television Network at 10 a.m. Eastern. Who do we have coming on tomorrow?
So we have Jack Kennedy. He's a West Point grad. Yep. Was in the airborne training, jumped out of a plane, broke his back, became disabled permanently from the Army, became an actor. He wrote a movie, produced it. It's called You Are Here. And it is going on a nationwide screening tour. He's going to be in San Antonio in August. I'm going to be covering that screening live for our network, for our show. And I will be interviewing all of the stars of the movie. Judd Nelson is in the movie from the 80s.
You're super happy about that.
I
you can
know,
be happier
my 80s.
on that one.
My crush from the 80s. But Jack is joining us tomorrow. He'll be on for the full 90 minutes. He's going to be coming on from LA, joining us. And he's going to be talking about the movie, talking about his career. He's got a huge resume. He's been on television shows all over. You'll probably recognize him when you see him. He's been on soap operas and CSI and Sons of Anarchy. Great guy. And he wrote this movie, produced it, and put it out, and it's doing very well going across the country. So he's going to join us tomorrow. I'm really excited. We're going to have a little Hollywood. We're going to have some fun tomorrow.
Tomorrow's going to be different. It's going to be completely different because it's going to be and I mean he's a veteran and what he does for veterans and working veterans in Hollywood is super important.
He has 5 veterans, I believe 5 starring with him, and he's got 5 that are in the production crew. So
which is awesome.
Yeah, having veterans work, and he's part of a disabled movie. There's a large group of disabled stars that are hired in Hollywood, and he's a big promoter of that too. We'll talk about that.
So we'll talk about that too. But it's a lot of Hollywood stuff, which is
I get to have my LA
what makes Maureen tick tomorrow. So you're right. Tune in. Please tune in for that. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be amazing. We will be back here Wednesday. I don't know really the subject matter yet. And Wednesday, I'll tell you about guests that we'll have the following Tuesday as well. Maureen already knows, but and a lot of our listeners know who he is. But Wednesday, don't know because Lord only knows what's going to happen between now and Wednesday morning, guys.
It's a fluid world we live in. The news is always flowing, but
fluid, and we're here to cover it all, right?
Yes. And I'm glad we do it.
I'm glad we do it too. And thank you again for all you do. And honestly, it's an absolute pleasure doing the show with you. And I love the fact that you make me think differently at times. And I say that for this reason, because for one, and we all know it, men and women do think differently. Like it or not, whether that's not sexist, that's not it. But men and women do think
scientific
about
fact.
Technically, I've always said if I ran a company, for one, I'd have a woman in charge of that company. I'm not saying I'd have all women because that doesn't work out well,
We're good at budgeting and watching details.
Very detail oriented,
and making things make sense. We're very
you guys never forget anything. You never forget anything. You know, so I always said that I would have a woman running my company 100% all the way down. But yeah, we think differently, and you bring a different perspective, and I love that, and I'm honored to have you here. So I thank you so much for agreeing to do that. Like, follow, and share, all you people out there. Any final words, Maureen, before we say goodbye today?
Just wanted to thank everybody again. It's a crazy world, and sometimes we need a little outlet. And one of my outlets this year has been watching Punch the Monkey, the Japanese macaw monkey that was born in Japan at Ichikawa Zoo. And his mother abandoned him as a baby, and he was raised by the zoo and carried around a stuffed toy for much of his little journey in the zoo. And he turned one yesterday. And I just want everyone to go and look up Punch the Monkey, because in all the crazy days that I've covered the news in this last year, when I've had a dark moment, I go look at Punch. So let's end on a fun note and go look up Punch the Monkey. He has captured the world with millions of people. And yesterday was his birthday, and he received over 10,000 cards, and they had a birthday party for him. And you know what? Sometimes we need a little bit of that, right? So when you're having a rough moment, go look up Punch the Monkey.
That's awesome.
You'll love it, I promise you.
See you all Wednesday. And once again, thank you, Maureen. So
thank you.
We all thank you. We are glad you are here. Punch the Monkey. I will look it up. Folks, tune in tomorrow. We will see you all on the America First Warehouse Network. So, Maureen, thank you again, dear. Appreciate it.
Thank you. See you tomorrow morning with Jack Kennedy.
That's it. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
We couldn't do it without you. Your support keeps us strong. Right where friends belong. America first, we stand as one.